I don't want to do that. Sticking to local news, and this to me, I mean, this is if I had a segment on this pod that where this would kind of fit, it would need to be something along the lines of like the petty corner. Maybe that's like a recurring thing. Like I call it like the petty corner, and I just talk about this week's like petty moment of pettiness. Uh, 787 in Providence, Rhode Island. Is it in Providence or is that North Providence? In Rhode Island. Really awesome Puerto Rican restaurant. Uh, they hit new levels of petty. As someone who's managed social media accounts for just a multitude of different entities at this point in my career, I don't know that I've ever seen this before. Where a restaurant. So the story goes that someone, a patron and a friend, went to 787 restaurant and they had drinks, they smoked hookah, they racked up a tab of over $100. I think it was like $180, right? And they walked out on the tab. They walked out on the tab, which in and of itself is not a huge story because as shitty behavior as it is to walk out on the tab, I also think that it's probably a lot more common than what we think. See, I full disclaimer, I've never walked out on the tab before. I've never walked out on the tab. I've gone even during periods in my life where I didn't have it like that, would go through whatever measures I would need to take to try to still take care of the tab. Like, I'm pretty sure I've had Sammy like cash at me money while, like as I'm about to pay this tab, like yo, like cash at me such and such amount, bro, real quick. Like that's just we I'm gonna get this done, right? Uh, but but what I've never so that in and of itself is not the story. Where I think it does become the story is that 787 restaurant took it upon themselves to completely expose this individual for walking out on his tab and tagged him. They were like, yo, we know who you are. And they tagged his actual like Instagram account in the post saying, yo, come back here and pay your tab. We know who you are. Yo. And of course, this dude is one of those dudes who, one of the dudes who just like flaunts his wealth on social media. He's got all this money. He's traveling. He's doing all this stuff. I mean, a lot of y'all, I see through a lot of the social media facade now. I don't know this gentleman specifically, so I don't know enough about him to know if it's a facade or what it is. But I just think as someone who, I mean, there are just some things that I always just view as red flags to being like, yeah, like that kind of tells me that you probably don't got it the way you want me to believe you got it. Because if you got it, if you really had it the way you wanted me to believe you had it, as someone who's seen and been around a lot of people who have it, that's just not how people who have it move. One thing that you will realize about uh, people, there's a common thread amongst people who truly have wealth that I've learned over the years when seeing people who have wealth and or success. People with wealth or success or anything like that are oftentimes uh, very conservative in wanting you to know what it is that they have, because they know that fundamentally you not knowing what they have plays to their advantage. Their advantages in life. You not knowing how up I am is what keeps me up, because it getting up is hard, staying up is harder. So the less people that know how up I am, the easier it is for me to stay up, because I'm not making myself a target. I'm just up. I'm just up, and I'm just like sticking on my purpose of being up. So that's just usually like the way that I operate, as far as just, and again, for all I know, this individual might be up and I don't know it. I don't believe, but just the social, it doesn't read as up to me. Right. But I mean, who cares what I think, right? But and yeah, and I think I did look at his Instagram stories, and he posted a picture in bed with like stacks of money, saying that the whole thing was fake news, which to me only goes further to kind of verify, like, I don't really think you're up. Don't really think you're up, sir. But I mean, we can agree to disagree. I don't know. It's not up to me. But seeing a restaurant go that far with someone, like that level of petty, just bravo. Bravo. Shout out to you, 787. Shout out to you for doing what you needed to do. You had to do it. And a lot of people loved seeing it. I don't know where this goes. Part of me would love to, like, I'm invested in this now, and I think a lot of people are invested in this. I and many others are very invested, and we need to know, is like, where's this going? Is like, did the tab get paid? Did he reach out and say, yo, my bad? Or, yo, like, I thought, like, I left cash here, someone else took. Because that's also another thing that I did think about when I just kind of as I'm like gathering the different news about it. I was like, yo, what if he left cash to cover the tab and someone else took the cash and they thought that he walked out? Now, granted, yes, they said that, I mean, they obviously had surveillance all over this man for some reason. But in the surveillance, I'm guessing you just couldn't see that he did anything like that. It looks like maybe their surveillance footage shows that he just got up and left without ever reaching for his pockets in any way. But let's say they didn't have footage of that. They didn't have footage of him going through his pockets and maybe pulling out a wad of cash. He had wads of cash in bed with him the following morning. But, I mean, what if that was the case? I don't know. But man, am I invested in finding out. Man, do I want to know. I do. I'm going to keep up with this story. I'm not going to lie. I will. Not for me, though. For y'all, of course. I just got to know. I just got to know where this whole thing lands, you know? So, what am I